Hey guys, this is Nate with BleepinJeep. A few months ago, you saw that I released a video of us playing around at Elby, and you saw this YJ on its maiden voyage after the 4BT swap and suspension upgrades and all this other stuff. And we went out. My buddy Joe liked a bunch of it, a couple things he wanted to upgrade, and so today we're going to take care of that. Today we're going to replace the axle shafts with some Yukon Chromoly units, and then we're going to do Ruff Stuff's 1-ton steering upgrade. So Joe took this axle out of a like 80-something Wagoneer. This is not obviously a stock YJ front axle, and in the last video you saw him in, he broke it on some rocks. These stock shafts are not notorious for durability, so he got the Chromoly shafts from Yukon, and we're going to remove the hub assembly and everything else so we can put these Chromoly units in.
Uno.
Woo. When Joe broke this axle, it widened the ears so much that we can't get it out. So we were operating the steering anyway, so now we're going to remove the steering, get it out of the way, try and turn this knuckle to full lock, and see if we can get in there to cut the ears off of these axle shafts. This steering setup has one trip on it. 37s are not nice to half-ton steering. It's hard to tell in the camera, I'm sure, but this is tacoed pretty good. There's a couple factory bends, but there's a few more that aren't supposed to be in there. The other side pulled out no problem because it's all stock and not broken. This side, however, there we go. Here's the Ruff Stuff kit. Basically, they send you a whole bunch of these ends, and they send you some welded bungs, as well as DOM tubing. And then you just cut it to length. You put the bungs in the outsides of it, and just make it all happen. And we need to drill out the knuckle in order to do the exact same thing. The smaller joints have a smaller tapered section here. So what we do is you drill it out, and then this kit comes with tapered inserts. So these inserts are uniform on the outside and tapered on the inside. So we just basically need to drill it big enough to fit these in the hole and then start bolting stuff together, and then we can measure and cut and find out exactly what we need. So we just kind of set these rod ends in there. And now we need to make sure that it's all aligned as straight as possible, because we want to make a cut on the DOM tube that was sent with the kit from here to there. In order to make sure that it's straight, we have two flat surfaces, two straight edges basically, that we're going to put on the bottom of the rotor, and then we have two tape measures, and we're going to measure the distance to the front, distance to the back, and make sure it's the same number. There you go, you want to hold that? I'm at 57 3/8.
57 7/8.
Okay, I'll turn. In between 5/8 and 7/8 or 3/4? Is that what 13/16 says?
No, that's after 3/4.
I don't know. I know the big ones. All right, I'm at 57 5/8 now. What are you at?
57 5/8. It moves like a smidge.
All right, bingo. Looks like we need 38.5. Let's go cut it. We got our tie rod located. Looks like everything's straight. Should be good to go there. So we put started putting these rod ends on the in the respective locations. We're gonna have to drill out this drop pitman arm. We decided to go with the short one because it's gonna give us a little bit more distance and a little more room in order to make our bends, because we're gonna have to bend around this leaf spring a little bit, and then we're gonna have to actually bend it out away from the tie rod, because we kind of have to go around it and then back behind it just because of the way the steering is set up on this YJ. If you look at the pitman arm, it's almost behind the tie rod, so we're gonna be doing some pretty wonky stuff to make this all work, but it'll work great when we're done. One-inch hole, insert. Need to tack weld around this to keep it from moving around. Apparently the ones on the knuckle you don't have to, but the one on the pitman arm they recommend you do. So we pre-assembled everything in order to make it easy to see where the next step's gonna be. And I took the liberty of putting a little bend right here with the axle turned all the way to the passenger side. I know that this bend will always stay on this side of the spring. So now we're kind of lining everything up to find out where to make our next bend. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to do this in 2 bends because our bender is gonna be limited on how close we can make them. We've got this bend here and it works, it's in a good spot. We're gonna put a little more of a bend in it, and then as close as we can, we're gonna put another one up going the other way, because we wanna keep this rod end as parallel as we can. So we'll see how close we can get based on the tools that we have, basically. As you can see, we just keep making little bends this way and that way, just kind of doing what we need in order to make it fit. You like angles? How about them angles? Looks like we're good. I know it's funky when it's not on the rig, but check this out. We turned it side to side. There's no clearance issues anywhere. We're ready to burn this bad boy in. Oh yeah.
I'm a 16th over.
Yeah. Okay.
On this side when I'm turning it, just in case.
Yeah, not a bad idea. There's one lock. Do the other way. Looks good. Pretty successful day. Can't wait to get this back out on the trail sooner than later. Hopefully in the next week or two, maybe the Labor Day weekend, something like that. So anyway, if you liked the video, if you learned something, make sure you like it, subscribe to our channel, support us on Patreon, and follow us on social media. Thanks a lot for watching.